Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Imran Riaz Khan to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Imran Riaz Khan's words. The news I'm about to share with you has actually shaken the government. As you're listening to this, today is the 3rd of October. What I'm about to tell you happened late night on the 1st of October because there was a lot of fighting that day in Azad Kashmir and gunfire was exchanged. There was heavy shelling as well. Then yesterday, on the 2nd of October, we saw large convoys heading towards Muzaffarabad. Emergency negotiation teams from the government also rushed to Azad Kashmir and held talks with the representatives from the other side, members of the Awami Action Committee. So why did all this suddenly happen? This started with a report prepared 2 nights ago by intelligence agencies, which was sent immediately to Islamabad. When that report was received in Islamabad, it was delivered to the Prime Minister of Pakistan at night. After that, a statement was issued by the Prime Minister. Then a statement was also issued by the Minister of Information, saying the Prime Minister had taken notice and immediate action was being taken. They requested people to remain peaceful. That peaceful protest is everyone's right, and protesting is a constitutional and legal right. These kinds of statements started coming in from those who just earlier were threatening people and talking about beating them. Earlier, Rana Sanaullah had said these people were Indian agents, and through touts and proxies, Pakistan's own digital media run by the establishment, and now everyone knows which accounts are run by the military establishment, started spreading this narrative. Some so-called intellectuals and journalists were included in this to distribute certificates of treason, branding patriotic Kashmiris as traitors. This is what was happening around the 1st of October. On the 29th, 30th and the 1st, a lot of force was used for 3 days. When the full force failed, a report was prepared on the 1st and sent out, waking up the Prime Minister. Then this statement was issued, and according to my sources, it was only issued under the Prime Minister's name because the situation had become so dire that the military establishment had to decide to push politicians forward. So, what was in that report? A few things I came to know, which I'll now share with you. First, the report stated that the use of force in Azad Kashmir had completely failed. Second, despite the gunfire, the dead bodies and injured being taken to hospitals, the number of Kashmiris protesting was not decreasing, but increasing across various areas. Third, the report stated that Friday was coming up, a day when large crowds attend Friday prayers in mosques, and that nearly all religious scholars were standing with the Awami Action Committee's demands. It warned that if a movement begins on Friday, or if there's a public reaction, the government and its apparatus would not be able to control it. The intelligence completely failed. The security forces there completely failed. Not only were the security personnel beaten by people, but when they were overpowered, the citizens showed them the way out, literally telling them to leave. When someone surrendered or was captured, the people of Azad Kashmir didn't kill them. Instead, they rescued them. Regarding the police officers who were martyred, it was claimed from the other side that they died from friendly fire by FC or security forces. But now other narratives are coming forward. The report mentioned that all the killing, destruction, torture, and use of force, all of it, went to waste. If the conflict had continued into Friday, it would have been nearly impossible to win. People had taken the police officers' clothes, hung them on wires, taken their belongings, shoes, pants, shirts, everything. They created a display in one area to show these people came to beat us. Look, here's their stuff, we've sold it. The Kashmiris, while unarmed and peaceful, united among themselves and fought back in a completely different way. Now, Kashmir is a very sensitive region. Pakistan has been fighting the case of occupied Kashmir in the United Nations for about 75 years, since 1948. There was even a war between Pakistan and India over it. The free part of Kashmir was liberated by Mujahideen, the local people and fighters from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So, if the same kind of situation arises here in Azad Kashmir, it could destroy Pakistan's case regarding occupied Kashmir and tarnish Pakistan's global image. It could also make it difficult to keep Kashmir aligned with Pakistan. The report also said that the violence had increased hatred among Kashmiris. They were now raising anti-security force slogans, and the coming days would bring more difficulty for the forces, not less. After all this was presented, the government issued its first statement 2 nights ago. The next day, Rana Sanaullah, who just a day earlier was calling the protesters traitors and Indian agents, issued a new statement saying these people are our brothers and that we love and sympathize with them. Similar sweet statements came from Khawaja Asif and Khawaja Saad Rafiqi. The Kashmiris in PMLN were used to go and start negotiations and try to settle matters before Friday. When the two sides sat for negotiations, the protesters' side, the Mujahideen, made several conditions. They said the Prime Minister of Azad Kashmir should not be included in talks. The Interior Minister there, Colonel retired Waqar Noor, should also not be included. There was strong opposition to Mumtaz Rathor's group. They said those who issued orders to kill us, our killers, will not sit at the negotiating table. They also demanded an answer for the propaganda against them that labelled them as anti-Pakistan or Indian agents, calling it a serious and unacceptable allegation. They also mentioned the firing by the Muslim Conference and the false accusation that convoys were transporting weapons. They demanded answers on all of that. According to sources close to Saura Barkat, in the negotiation between the government and the Awami Action Committee, the following points were agreed upon. First, the funds related to 12 seats, through which the establishment controls Azad Kashmir's administration and government, would be immediately frozen. Second, their ministries would be limited to 2. Third, a committee would be formed to abolish these seats, with 1 member from the Awami Action Committee included. These 12 seats would no longer have any role in electing the Prime Minister. They would neither be able to form nor dissolve governments. If they are kept, it would be purely symbolic. The benefits given to these members would also be significantly reduced, and other demands would also be accepted gradually. It's now up to the Awami Action Committee to decide amongst themselves and take the negotiations forward. This is the current development. As of now, I don't have information on when the next round of talks will be held. Since the government has accepted some demands and made some requests, the two sides will meet again. But no developments have occurred yet, so I don't know what new decisions may be made. So this intelligence report that reached the government and Islamabad shook everyone. The use of force failed. The Joint Awami Action Committee made another major point regarding privileges. They said the Legislative Assembly has 53 members, out of which 34 are ministers. There are 10 advisors, and with the Prime Minister and President, that's nearly 100 people enjoying major benefits. The budget for Azad Kashmir is rupees 310 billion, and rupees 62 billion, a large chunk, is spent on these privileged individuals. That means, if divided among these 100 people, around rupees 20 million is spent per person annually. These people are powerful and living lavish lives. If this money were spent on the public, each district in Azad Kashmir could receive rupees 62 billion more, changing people's lives. This money belongs to the people and should be spent on them, not on politicians, bureaucrats, or these 100 elite individuals. This is one of their main demands. Now, viewers, what happens in the next round of negotiations is yet to be seen, because today is Friday, an important day. People will come out after Friday prayers, and they certainly will. The establishment was once very proud of its power and arrogance. The Awami Action Committee had made its demands many weeks ago and gave a deadline. But the rulers were so arrogant, like pharaohs, that they felt no need to respond. Now, after blood has been spilled, suddenly everyone is realizing things and trying to negotiate. The representatives of the Awami Action Committee made some categorical statements. They said, "We have no connection to India. India is our real enemy. We will never give margin to the atrocities India has committed in Kashmir. These 12 candidates, they are puppets. Through them, the establishment topples governments. And this is a movement for our fundamental rights. If our first leadership is caught or arrested, then we have a second line of leadership ready. And if that is arrested too, then even the third line of leadership is in place. The people are with us. We hope that we will definitely succeed." Viewers, overseas Pakistanis, who are Kashmiris and are present all around the world, have also started protesting. There was a strong protest by overseas Pakistanis in front of the consulate in New York. I asked a journalist who was present there, and he said, "We haven't even seen such unity before." If people in Pakistan protest this way, they can quickly get rid of the establishment. The illegal and unconstitutional role of Pakistan's military establishment can be thrown out of politics altogether. If the public inside Pakistan shows the same unity. The same kind of unity as seen outside Imran Khan's house in Zaman Park. How people gathered, protected one another, defended each other. Just like people gathered with Imran Khan. That same unity has now been seen in Kashmir. Despite the brutal use of force, these people did not back down. That is a huge difference. Everyone in Azad Kashmir knows their duty and is doing it with full responsibility. Each person feels it is their personal responsibility and is concerned that this movement must succeed at all costs. And awareness is a big reason for this. People are aware. They are not ready to step back. Viewers, there's one thing I want to present to you, and this is regarding Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, or PTI. PTI often harms itself the most. They are mostly fighting among themselves. I criticize them because they are an opposition political party, and the opposition must give the government a tough time on every issue to ensure accountability. Now, there's oppression and brutality happening in Kashmir. But practically, what has PTI done? Just issued statements. When there was an attack on the Moeed flotilla in Gaza, what did PTI do? When the current government held secret dealings with Israel, what reaction did PTI give at the public level? None. Even in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where there were drone strikes, military operations and bombing by fighter jets, PTI's government only gave financial aid to the affected people. PTI has not practically raised full voice on these public issues, whether it's about corruption in sugar, wheat or flour, whether it's about helping flood victims, whether it's about Kashmir or Gaza, or the secret meetings and agreements with Israel. PTI has unfortunately not done anything substantial, despite being the largest political party with the most support. Now, Maulana Fazlur Rahman has announced protests. He said that after Friday prayers, his party will protest the attack on the Moeed flotilla in Gaza, in which our Senator Mushtaq Ahmed was also present. So Maulana Fazlur Rahman announced the protest, even though it should have been PTI, the main opposition party, making this announcement. But they did not. Israel has now decided to deport all captives. Reportedly, those detained will be deported to Europe. This is the latest information so far. May Allah protect all those who risked their lives and took this major step. Ayesha Siddiqa has broken a major story. I will now present that to you. It's a very interesting revelation. When you hear it, you'll also be shocked about what's happening in Pakistan. Ayesha Siddiqa says that the purpose of bringing along the woman named Shama Junejo was to send a message. That a month ago, some individuals came to Pakistan who sell Israeli arms in America. Listen to this carefully. Ayesha Siddiqa says, "I won't take names, but bringing Shama Junejo along was Pakistan's way of sending a message to Israel. That look, at the UN, we brought along someone who was willing to accept you." According to Ayesha Siddiqa, this was a signal sent by Pakistan to Israel, and she is a very well-informed woman, especially on matters involving the military establishment. She has written books. She says the message was, "Look, we brought the woman who wanted to recognize you." A month ago, some individuals came to Pakistan who were involved in selling Israeli weapons in America. They met various madrasas and religious organizations. These clerics are not silent for no reason. Ayesha Siddiqa says that these people came, did their job, and left. And we all know how such jobs are done. She said they met with madrasas and religious groups. Some individuals who sell Israeli arms in America came, and the government allowed them to enter. The government knew they were coming. But still, they were let in. This was a way of telling Israel that we have no dispute with you, and that the stabilization force will definitely work with Israel. Now, what is this stabilization force? This is the force Donald Trump wants to build, made up of Muslim countries and other nations, a force to be controlled by Trump and Tony Blair. Pakistani soldiers will also be part of it, meaning Pakistani troops will work under Trump and Blair, alongside forces of other Muslim countries and the Israeli army. This is what Ayesha Siddiqa says. This is a major revelation. The Foreign Office or Pakistan's government may respond to this, but her reports usually turn out to be accurate. Viewers, even someone like Kamran Khan, a journalist who used to praise General Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif, saying they've worked day and night, that they will take Pakistan's economy to the skies. Even he was seen yesterday, holding his head in despair, saying the economy has completely collapsed. There's nothing left in Pakistan's economic body. Pakistan's trade deficit is at a record high. Exports have decreased by another 12% recently. Inflation continues to rise. Tax collection is not being achieved. International institutions are expressing concern. The World Bank has already stated that our economic growth model is failing miserably. Poverty is increasing rapidly in Pakistan. According to international reports, almost half of Pakistan's population has fallen below the poverty line. Pakistan's debt, which was around 40 trillion rupees during Imran Khan's tenure, has now crossed 80.6 trillion rupees. That is, in just 3 years of Shahbaz Sharif's rule under General Asim Munir and General Bajwa, Pakistan took on as much debt as it had in its first 75 years. Previously, the debt was around 40 or 43 trillion. Now it's over 80.6 trillion rupees. This is what they have done to Pakistan. Foreign investment continues to fall. Despite grand claims, not a single major investment is coming into Pakistan. In fact, big companies are leaving the country. SIFC, the Special Investment Facilitation Council, has completely failed. Zubair Ilyas shared some data showing that major companies are exiting Pakistan. Procter & Gamble, a huge company, is shutting operations in Pakistan. They made many products, including Gillette. In April 2023, Sanofi Aventis, a big pharmaceutical company, left Pakistan. In 2023, Shell Pakistan left. Then Bayer left Pakistan. In June to July 2023, Telenor exited. In May 2023, Pfizer sold its assets. Total Energies sold its shares. Eli Lilly shut its Pakistan manufacturing in November 2022. In July 2025, Microsoft Technologies also left. This year in July, Careem also exited Pakistan. And now Procter & Gamble is leaving. These are massive multinationals, and they are all leaving Pakistan. Global analysts and institutions are calling the situation in Pakistan alarming. But what is Pakistan's Prime Minister doing? He's turned the Air Force One into a rickshaw. He's travelling the world, hugging people, forcefully posing for photos to show he's a great leader. Meanwhile, Pakistan's army chief is carrying minerals in a briefcase, offering them as trade, acting like a shopkeeper, like a businessman, which does not suit him. These people get offended when told this, but they are doing work that is not theirs. Security people should stick to security, because you cannot run an economy with boots, batons and guns. It simply won't work. Only those with brains can run economies. How can thick-headed people run a nation's economy? Economies are managed by economists, highly educated, thoughtful individuals who have devoted their entire lives to this field. If you appoint masters of money laundering or account manipulation to run the economy, then the destruction that has happened is exactly what you get. That wraps up our translation of Imran Riaz Khan's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.